First time my father tried to sell me, I was 9 years old. Nobody bought me. The second time, I was 13. Still, nobody wanted me. By 16, people had stopped pretending. They didn't call me Rowan anymore, called me the useless one, the mistake, the Omega nobody wanted. So when my name appeared on the auction board again, I wasn't surprised. I was tired. Tired of watching my family negotiate my future. Tired of hearing people discuss my value like I wasn't standing right there. Tired of hoping someone would finally choose me for a reason that wasn't selfish. The auction lasted almost an hour. People bid on horses, land, weapons, even livestock. Then my turn came, and the silence was embarrassing. Nobody wanted me, not even for pity. Then the doors opened. A stranger walked in, black coat, silver eyes, pack symbol. No guards, no introduction. He ignored the auctioneer, ignored the alpha, ignored everyone, until his eyes landed on me. Then on my wrist, the birthmark I'd spent my entire life hiding. And suddenly, the man looked like he'd seen a ghost. The room went silent. My father went pale. The alpha stood up, before anyone could speak. The stranger offered enough money to buy half the territory. That's when I realized something was very wrong. Because nobody pays that much. For a girl nobody wants. The canvas partitions smells like sweat and fear. Press my back against the cold stone wall and try to breathe through my mouth. It doesn't help. Scent of a dozen unwanted wolves clings to everything back here. Desperation, resignation. That particular sour note of hope dying, or calling out names on the other side. One by one. Sold. Sold. Each word lands like a slap. Rowan Vale. My stomach drops. That's 3 names ahead of mine. I count them off on trembling fingers. Bodies. 3 more bodies to parade across that rough wooden stage while the pack watches. 3 more chances for me to remember how to breathe. You're shaking. I turn. Lila crouches beside me, her knees drawn to her chest. She's 17. 2 years younger than me. Her lower lip is split. She tried to run 3 days ago, and the enforcers made sure everyone understood what happens to runners. I'm fine, I lie. She doesn't believe me. Nobody ever does. The auction block has been standing in the center of the pack square for 300 years. That's what my father used to tell me, before he stopped speaking to me entirely. He said it was built from the wood of the first fallen tree in Blackridge territory. A reminder that nothing lasts, not loyalty, not protection, not safety. Only the pack endures, and the pack needs cogs to turn its machine, servants for the elders, laborers for the mines, breeding stock for bloodlines that are running thin. I've been on this block before. I was 15 the first time. My mother had just died, and my father needed to make a point about worth, about what happens to Omegas who cost more than they contribute. I stood there for 45 minutes while the crowd laughed. Nobody bid. Not even a copper coin. Alpha had to wave me off the stage like a bad smell. I learned 2 things that day. I wasn't valuable enough to sell, and I wasn't valuable enough to keep. Too useless for money. Too useless to let go. So they kept me, and they never let me forget it. Rowan Vale. Lila squeezes my hand. Her fingers are ice cold. 2 names ahead now. I should feel something. Rage, maybe. Terror. Anything but this hollow numbness that's taken up residence in my chest. Instead, I just count the seconds between heartbeats and try not to picture my father in the crowd. He'll be there. Always there. Not to bid. Not to save me. Just to watch. Just to watch me fail again. The enforcer pulls back the canvases. Gray daylight floods the backstage area, and I have to blink against it. Mountain of a wolf named Theron. And he looks at me. Wait. You look at a piece of furniture. You're tired of moving. Vale. You're up. My legs move before my brain catches up. That's survival. That's what 15 years of being nobody teaches you. Your body learns to obey, while your mind screams somewhere far away. Stage boards groan under my feet. I keep my eyes down at first. That's what omegas do. That's what invisible means. Don't challenge. You don't need eyes, you make yourself small enough to forget. But today they won't forget me. They'll finally find a price. The crowd swims in my peripheral vision. Dozens of faces, pack members I've served meals to. Pack members I've cleaned boots for. Pack members who've watched me scrub floors on my hands and knees while their children threw bread crusts at my back. My father is in the third row. I see his boots before I see his face. Old leather, scuffed at the toes, worn the same pair for as long as I can remember. My mother polished them every Sunday, doesn't look up when I pass. The auction master steps forward. His name is Callum, and he enjoys this. Tell by the way he smiles. Wide and white and wrong. He's sold hundreds of wolves over the years, probably doesn't remember most of them. Probably doesn't care. Rowan Vale, he announces, and his voice carries across the square like a bell. Age 20. Omega classification. No mate. No surviving parent claiming rights. No surviving parent claiming rights. My father doesn't flinch. Hey. Her file indicates basic domestic training, limited physical endurance, and no combat capability. Callum pauses, letting the words settle. Opening bid, 50 silver marks. Silence. I stand there with my hands clasped behind my back the way they taught me, chin slightly down. Shoulders relaxed, waiting to be appraised like livestock. 50 silver marks. That's what my life is worth. Less than a hunting dog. Less than a saddle. Less than the dress one of it. The beta's daughters wore to the last moon ceremony. 40, someone calls from the back. Callum's smile tightens. The bid is 40 silver marks. Do I hear 45? The man who bid is old. I recognize his face, but not his name. He runs a tannery on the south edge of the territory, bidding on me, the same way you'd bid on a broken plow. Cheap, because you might find a use for the parts. 45. Another voice offers, a woman this time. Thin lips. Cold eyes. She's one of the Alpha's household staff. Work me until my hands bled, and then complain about the stains. 45 silver marks. My entire existence. 45 silver marks. 50, says someone new, and my head almost lifts before I stop myself. I know that voice. Marcus, my father's oldest friend. He's sitting 2 rows behind my father, and he's not looking at me. He's looking at him, at the man who raised me and then threw me away. Marcus is bidding out of guilt. Or obligation. Or maybe just to make my father uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. His 50 silver marks is still less than a hunting dog. 50 going once, 60. The crowd shifts. That's not Marcus. That's someone else entirely. I risk a glance toward the voice. A trader from the Eastern Territories, thick-necked and heavy-fisted, been at 3 auctions this season. Buys wolves in bulk and ships them somewhere I've never seen. People whisper. He works the death mines. People whisper worse. 60 silver marks. My life worth less than a saddle. But at least I'm worth more than a hunting dog now. Callum's smile returns. 60, from the Eastern trader. Do I hear 70? Silence. The trader crosses his arms. He thinks he's won. He's already calculating profit margins. Probably. How many shifts he can get out of me before my lungs fill with mine dust. 70. I don't know who says it at first. The voice is low, calm, cuts through the noise of the crowd without effort, and something about that makes the hairs on my arms stand up. People turn. The crowd parts, and that's when I see him. He's standing at the back of the square, half in shadow, tall. Taller than Theron even, which shouldn't be possible. Dark hair, dark clothes, no pack markings on his jacket. Face is hard to read from this distance, but his posture says everything. He doesn't belong here. He doesn't care. Callum blinks. 70 silver marks. Do I hear 80? 100. The crowd gasps. 100 silver marks is absurd. That's the kind of money you pay for a war horse. For prime breeding stock. For someone who isn't me. This stranger doesn't move from the shadows. He just stands there with his hands in his pockets, watching the stage like he's already decided something. I don't understand. Who is he? 100 silver marks, Callum repeats, and now his voice has lost its confidence. Going once. 200. The square goes completely silent. 200 silver marks. That's not absurd. That's impossible. That's the kind of money that buys land. That buys loyalty, buys the silence of everyone in this crowd. The alpha shifts in his seat. I see it from the corner of my eye. Alaric Blackwood, leader of the pack, suddenly interested in an auction he wasn't paying attention to 2 minutes ago. Stranger steps forward. Just one step. Enough for the light to catch his face. High cheekbones, scar running from his jaw to his temple. Eyes the color of winter storms. He looks young. Maybe 25, maybe 30. But there's something old in the way he carries himself. Something careful. Dangerous. Every instinct I've spent 20 years ignoring suddenly screams awake. Dangerous. 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 Who are you? Callum asks, and there's a tremor in his voice. The stranger doesn't answer. He just tilts his head slightly, like he's listening to something far away. Then he reaches into his jacket and pulls out a leather pouch. He tosses it onto the stage, lands at my feet with a heavy thunk. Callum stares at it. The crowd stares at it. The alpha stares at it. Nobody opens it. Nobody has to. The pouch is embroidered with symbols I don't recognize. Patterns that make my eyes hurt if I look too long, and the leather isn't from any animal I've ever seen. What's your name? Callum tries again. The stranger looks past him. Past the crowd. Past everything until his eyes find mine. And for the first time in my life, someone looks at me like I'm not invisible, like I'm the only thing in the room worth seeing. The bidding is closed, he says. Not a question. Not a request. Statement. Callum opens his mouth. Closes it. Opens it again. Nobody speaks. Not the alpha. Not the enforcers. Sss. Not my father, who's finally looked up from his boots for the first time in 20 years. Nobody looked at me anymore. They were all staring at him. Nobody moves. The silence stretches so long I start counting my heartbeats again. 23, 24, 25. Pouch sits at my feet like a living thing. Those strange symbols seeming to pulse in the afternoon light. Callum finally breaks. The auction is concluded, he announces, and his voice cracks on the last word. The Omega Rowan Vale is sold to. He stops, realizing he still doesn't have a name. Darius Thorne. The stranger supplies. Nobody recognizes it. I watch the crowd's faces. Alpha Alaric's tight jaw, my father's pale cheeks, the trader's furious scowl. The name means nothing to any of them, but the money meant something. 200 silver marks means everything. Theron appears at my elbow. Hand closes around my arm. Too tight, the way it always is. And he pulls me toward the edge of the stage. Toward him, toward Darius Thorne. You're supposed to sign, I whisper, because my voice has forgotten how to work properly. The transfer papers. Pack needs. I don't sign things. Darius hasn't moved from his spot at the back of the square. His eyes track every movement around him. The enforcers shifting their weight. The Alpha's guards melting into the crowd. The old women who've suddenly decided to leave. He notices everything. He's done this before. Theron stops 5 feet away. He won't get closer. Feel his grip loosen. Then tighten again, like he's fighting every instinct in his body. Release her, Darius says. It's not loud. It doesn't need to be. Theron's hand falls away. I stumble forward. Catch myself. Stand there like an idiot, with my wrists still crossed. Behind my back, waiting for instructions that don't come. Darius studies me. Not the way the others did. Not weighing my value or cataloging my flaws. Studies me. The way you'd study a locked door when you don't have the key. Come, he says, and he walks away. I follow. What else am I supposed to do? The crowd parts again, catch fragments of whispers as I pass. Who is he? Where did he come from? Did you see the pouch? But one voice rises above the rest, and it stops me cold. Rowan, my father, standing at the edge of the third row. And for the first time in 2 years, he's looking directly at my face. Eyes are the same color as mine. That muddy green-brown that never quite decided what it wanted to be. Opens his mouth, closes it. Say something, I beg silently. Say anything. Tell me this isn't what you wanted. Tell me you tried to stop it. Lie to me. I don't care. Just say something. Don't come back, he says. He turns and walks away. I stand there for 3 full seconds. Long enough for the words to burrow under my skin. Long enough for the last splinter of hope to finally die. Don't come back. As if I ever had a choice. Darius is waiting at the edge of the square. He doesn't rush me. Doesn't offer comfort. Stands there with his hands in his pockets. Giving me the space to feel everything I need to feel. I hate him for that. I hate him for not being cruel when cruelty would be easier. Father, Darius says as I reach him. Not a question. He sold me. My voice comes out flat. You bought me. Nothing else to say. Darius nods slowly, turns and leads me toward the northern gate. The one that opens onto the old trading road. The one nobody uses anymore because the forest has claimed it back. Nobody stops us. Nobody even tries. I look back over my shoulder as we pass through the gate. Pack Square is already emptying. People returning to their lives, their meals, their comfortable routines. Tomorrow they'll remember the auction, the way you remember a storm. Something that happened, nothing more. My father is gone. Alpha. Alaric is arguing with Callum near the stage. His face red, his hands cutting sharp gestures through the air. He's nervous. Alpha of Black Ridge Pack, the most powerful wolf in 3 territories. And he's wringing his hands like a servant caught stealing. What did you do to him? I ask. Darius doesn't look back. I bought his garbage. Men like that don't need more reason to be nervous. His garbage. I should be angry. Maybe I am. But mostly I'm tired. Tired of being trash. Tired of being sold. Tired of being the punchline to a joke I never agreed to tell. The forest swallows us. We walk for 2 hours. Darius sets a brutal pace. Not running. Not quite. But fast enough that my legs start burning after the first mile. I've never been this far from the Pack Square. Never been past the northern fields where the youngest wolves practice their shifts. The trees here are older. Thicker. Branches weaved together overhead until the sky becomes something I remember. Instead of something I see. You walk well for an omega. I almost trip. What's that supposed to mean? Most of you are kept indoors. Darius steps over a fallen log without breaking stride. Soft. Untrained. Most of us are beaten if we go outside without permission. He goes quiet at that. Good. Let him sit with that. Another hour passes. The light starts to fade. Not sunset yet, but close. Golden hour. My mother used to call it. The time when everything looks softer than it really is. Where are we going? I ask. North. That's not an answer, sir. It's the only one you're getting. I stop walking. Darius takes 3 more steps before he notices. Then he stops too, and turns and looks at me with those winter storm eyes. I'm not moving until you tell me something real. I say, you bought me for 200 silver marks, dragged me out of the only home I've ever known. It wasn't a home. And now you expect me to follow you into the wilderness like a trained dog. My voice cracks. I hate that it cracks. I deserve answers. Darius studies me for a long moment. Then he walks back, closer than he's been all day, close enough that I can smell him. Wood smoke and something metallic, like copper, just before a storm, close enough that I have to tilt my head back to keep his eyes in mine. You're right, he says quietly. Deserve answers. I wait. I'm not going to give you any. What? Not because I enjoy your confusion. Darius cuts me off with a small shake of his head. Eyes. Because the answers will put you in more danger than you're already in. More danger. I was sold at auction by my own father. I say slowly. How much more danger could I possibly be in? Darius's expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. Something careful and old and afraid. He's afraid. Why is he afraid? Someone is going to come looking for you, he says. The words land like stones in my stomach. Someone already knows you exist. Someone who shouldn't. When they find out, you've been sold. When they track the purchase. He stops, runs a hand through his dark hair. We don't have much time. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody knows I exist. Nobody. Spent 20 years making sure of it. Darius reaches for my wrist. I flinch. Hard. My body remembers every hand that's grabbed me. Every finger that's left bruises. Every grip that meant pain was coming. Darius doesn't grab. He takes my wrist like you'd take a fallen bird. Gentle, careful, almost reverent. Then he turns it over. The birthmark is there. I've had it my whole life. A swirl of discolored skin just below the base of my thumb. Nothing special. Nothing important. Just a mark. But the way Darius looks at it. His breathing changes. Quicker, shallower, the winter. His storm eyes widen just enough for me to see the white around the edges. First time since he appeared at the auction. Darius Thorne looks genuinely shaken. Where did you get that? He whispers. I was born with it. No. He shakes his head. No, you don't understand. That mark should not exist. That mark should not exist. The mark is impossible. He continues, and now his voice is trembling. The mark hasn't been seen in 300 years. The mark is. He stops abruptly. His head snaps up, not looking at me anymore. He's looking at the trees behind us. What is it? I ask. Darius doesn't answer. He just stands there, frozen, his nostrils flaring as he scents the air. Grip on my wrist tightens. Not painfully, but possessively. Like he's decided I'm something worth holding on to. We're being followed, he says. My blood turns to ice. Crackers. As Darius continues, and his voice has gone flat, professional. 3 of them, maybe 4, been on our trail since we left the pack square. But who? I don't know yet. He pulls me behind him, positions his body between mine and the darkening forest. And when he speaks again, his voice is barely a whisper. Don't make a sound. Don't move. And whatever happens. He looks back at me over his shoulder. Don't shift. Don't shift. I open my mouth to tell him I've never shifted in my life. When the first howl tears through the trees, the howl splits the forest in half. I've heard wolves my whole life. Pack howls. Hunting howls. The mournful sounds that drift through Blackridge territory on moonless nights. But this is different. Howl doesn't call. It doesn't warn. It hunts. Darius shoves me behind a fallen oak. Body blocks mine completely. Broad shoulders, tense muscles, hands already shifting toward claws. Stay down, he breathes. Don't look up. Don't breathe loud. I can't. Breathe through your mouth. I obey. I don't know why I obey. Maybe because his voice leaves no room for argument. Maybe because the howl is getting closer. Maybe because every instinct I've spent 20 years ignoring is screaming one word on repeat. Danger. 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 Trees rustle. Not wind. Something moving through the branches. Something fast. Darius turns his head slowly, tracking the sound. His eyes aren't winter storm anymore. Glowing. Amber and gold and something else entirely. Something that makes my chest seize up. He's shifting, but not fully. Just his eyes. Just his hands. Just enough to become something sharper than human. 3, he murmurs. No, 4. They circled. Around. Who are they? Darius doesn't answer. He's too busy listening. The first one drops from the canopy. I don't see it happen. I only see the aftermath. Body slamming into the ground, 20 feet to our left. Human-shaped but wrong. too long in the limbs, pale in the face. Eyes that glow red instead of gold. Red eyes. Wolves don't have red eyes. Stay, Darius growls. Then he moves. I've never seen anyone move like that. Not in the training yards. Tomer. Not during the dominance. Fights the alphas hold every winter. Darius crosses 20 feet in the time it takes me to blink. And when he reaches the red-eyed wolf, his claws are already buried in its chest. The wolf screams. Not a howl, a scream. Human and animal and something else entirely. Something that makes my ears ring and my vision blur. Darius twists. The wolf's body crumples. One down. The second one comes from behind. I see it too late. A flash of movement in my peripheral vision. A hand reaching for my throat. Try to scream. But the sound dies in my throat because Darius is there. He's there, 20 feet away a second ago. And now he's standing between me and the red-eyed wolf with his arm extended. His claws buried in its shoulder, holding it back like it weighs nothing. I said. Darius snarls, and his voice isn't human anymore. Stay down. He throws the wolf into a tree. Impact cracks wood. The wolf slides down the trunk and doesn't get up. 2 down. The third one is smarter. Hangs back. Watches from the shadows while its packmates bleed on the forest floor. And when Darius turns to face it, the red-eyed wolf smiles. It smiles. She doesn't know, does she? The voice is wet, gurgling. Wrong. She doesn't know what she is. Shut up. The council will want her. The council will tear her apart. Darius moves. I don't see the strike. I only see the aftermath. The red-eyed wolf on its knees, its mouth open, its tongue black with blood. The council can try, Darius whispers. The wolf's eyes go dark. 3 down. Silence. The forest holds its breath. 4th wolf. The one Darius mentioned, the one that circled around, is nowhere to be seen. No sound, no movement. The wind, and the blood, and the sound of my own heartbeat hammering in my ears. Darius stands in the center of the clearing. His hands drip, his chest heaves. The amber glow in his eyes fades slowly, reluctantly, like it doesn't want to let go. We have to move, he says. Can't move. I'm stuck, frozen. My legs won't work, and my voice won't work, and my brain is just. Red eyes, smiling. She doesn't know what she is. What am I? The words come out broken. Darius, what am I? He turns to look at me. For a moment, I see something in his face that I don't understand. Grief, maybe, or guilt, or the weight of a secret he's carried for so long it's bent him out of shape. Not here, he says. Not now. Now. The 4th wolf is still out there. It's going to report back. We have minutes, maybe less before more of them come. Then, talk faster. Darius stares at me. I stare back, and for the first time since he appeared at the auction, I see him make a decision, not a calculation, not a strategy, choice. He walks to me, kneels so we're eye level, takes my left hand, the one with the mark, and turns it over in his blood-stained fingers. This mark, he says slowly. What do you know about it? Nothing. It's a birthmark. My mother had one like it, she said. I stop. Swallow. She said it was nothing. Your mother lied. The words hit like a slap. 300 years ago. Darius continues. The werewolf world wasn't ruled by alphas. It was ruled by something older. Something stronger. Ruled by what? By bloodlines. 5 families who carried power in their veins. Power that couldn't be learned or earned or taken, only inherited. He traces the edge of my mark with his thumb. This is the sigil of the first family, strongest family. The original family. The original family. That's impossible. I pull my hand back. There are no original families. Every pack teaches the same history. The alphas rose because the old bloodlines died out. They were weak, corrupt, destroyed themselves. Who taught you that? Everyone. The elders, the histories. I stop. My father. Darius's expression hardens, and you believe him? The man who sold you for 60 silver marks. 45. The bid was 45 before the traitor. That's not. You believe the pack that made you stand on an auction block while strangers decided your worth. My throat closes. Right. I hate that he's right. The old bloodlines didn't destroy themselves, Darius says quietly. They were murdered. Every last one of them. The alphas rose because there was no one left to stop them. They rewrote the histories. Buried the truth. For 300 years, they've ruled over a world that forgot it was built on graves. I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want to run back to Blackridge and pretend I never heard any of this. The bodies are still bleeding on the forest floor. And the red-eyed wolves are still out there. My mark is still burning on my wrist. Why would anyone murder an entire bloodline? I whisper. Darius looks at me. Because the first family wasn't just powerful, he says. They were dangerous. They had abilities that no other wolves possessed. Abilities that could tear down the alpha system in a single night, if they chose to use them. What ability? I don't know. What? The records were destroyed. Everything we know comes from fragments. Old stories, hidden texts, things passed down in secret for generations. Darius stands, pulls me to my feet. But I know one thing for certain. He cups my face in his hands. His palms are warm, calloused, shaking slightly. The first family was declared extinct 300 years ago, he says. Every member hunted, every descendant killed, every trace of their bloodline erased from the world. He stares into my eyes. Then, I found you at an auction in a forgotten pack territory, wearing their mark on your wrist. That mark should not exist. Darius's words from earlier come crashing back. That mark should not exist. If the bloodline was destroyed, I say slowly, then I can't be. I'm not. You're not what? Darius asks. Possible. Not real. Not standing here. With a mark that hasn't been seen in 3 centuries, while assassins try to cut your throat. The fourth wolf howls in the distance. He's leaving, reporting back. Your mother, Darius says suddenly. You said she had the same mark. Yes. She's dead. She died when I was 15. How? I blink at the sudden question. Sickness. Pack healer said her heart just stop. Darius' jaw tightens. Did anyone see her body? What? Did anyone see her body? I think back. The closed door. My father's blank face. The healer's rushed explanation. A funeral that happened so fast. I barely had time to process it. No, I whisper. They didn't let me see her. They said it would be too painful. Darius closes his eyes. When he opens them again, something has changed. Something has cracked. Rowan, he says carefully. I don't think your mother is dead. The world tilts. What? I think she's in hiding. I think she's been in hiding for 5 years. And I think he stops. Swallows. I think someone in your pack knew what she was. And I think they sold you at that auction. Specifically because they knew someone would come looking. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody would. 4 assassins just tried to kill us. I stopped talking. 4 assassins just tried to kill us. Your mother, Darius continues, is likely the last surviving member of the first family besides you. She's alive. If she's been hiding all this time, then she knows things. Things about the mark. Things about the bloodline. Things about you. He takes my hand again. Things that someone is willing to kill for. The forest is dark now. The golden hour is gone. Everything is shadows and fear and the copper smell of blood. Where do we go? I ask. Darius looks north. Place. A sanctuary. Wolves who've been hiding from the alphas for generations. If your mother is alive, they'll know. And if she's not? He doesn't answer. The wind picks up. Somewhere in the distance, the fourth wolf stops howling. But somewhere else, closer, a different sound emerges. Feet, many feet, marching in rhythm. Darius's head snaps toward the sound. His whole body goes rigid. No, he breathes. Not possible. They couldn't have mobilized this fast. What? What is it? He pulls me behind him again, backs us both toward a cluster of rocks near the fallen oak. Someone already knows you're alive, he says, and they're not sending assassins anymore. The marching grows louder. They're sending an army. The marching grows louder. Not feet anymore. Boots. Dozens of them hitting the forest floor in perfect rhythm. Soldiers. Trained wolves moving as one unit. And they're coming straight for us. Darius pulls me behind the rock cluster. Hands are steady. But his breathing has changed. Sharper. Sharper. Faster. The way a predator breathes when it knows it's outnumbered. How many? I whisper. Too many. He scans the tree line. 20. Maybe 30. All armed. Armed? Wolves don't use weapons. These aren't wolves. I stare at him. Darius meets my eyes. They're hunters. Humans bound to the Alpha Council. They can't shift, but they don't need to. Spent centuries developing ways to kill our kind. My stomach turns to liquid. Alpha Council is real? The Alpha Council is everything. They're the reason the bloodlines were erased. The reason packs, like Blackridge, still exist. Because the Council allows it. Controls it. Profits from it. The boots are closer now. I can hear voices. Low, clipped commands in a language I don't recognize. And they sent an army. I say slowly. For me? Darius doesn't answer. That's answer enough. We can't outrun 30 armed hunters. I say. No. We can't fight them. Probably not. Then what? Darius grabs my shoulders, turns me to face him fully. The winter, storm eyes, are back. And they're burning with something I can't name. The hunters aren't here to kill you, he says. What? They're here to capture you. The council wanted you dead. They would have sent one assassin. One clean shot. Instead, they sent a unit. They want you alive. That's worse. Much worse. The first hunter appears through the trees. I see him clearly despite the fading light. Tall. Lean. Wearing dark armor that seems to drink the shadows. Face is uncovered, but his eyes are wrong. Too flat. Too empty. Like someone hollowed him out and filled the space with obedience. He raises his hand. The marching stops. Silence. Rowan Vale, the hunter calls. His voice carries no emotion, no humanity, just function. By order of the Alpha Council, you are hereby detained for violations of the Bloodline Accords. Bloodline Accords. I've never heard of the Bloodline Accords. Step forward. The hunter continues. Compliance will be noted. Darius's grip tightens on my shoulders. Don't move. Don't speak. Don't even breathe loud. What are you going to do? Something stupid. Before I can stop him, Darius steps out from behind the rocks. Hunters tense. Weapons rise. Crossbows, I realize. Small ones, strapped to their wrists, tipped with something that gleams silver in the dying light. Silver. They're hunting wolves with silver. Darius Thorne, the lead hunter says. No surprise in his voice. He knew. He knew who Darius was. Step aside. Does not concern you. It concerns me. The council has no quarrel with you. Walk away, and you will not be harmed. Darius laughs. It's a cold sound. Nothing like the man who bought me at auction. Council has had a quarrel with me since the day I was born, he says. That's not why I'm not walking away. He spreads his arms, wide open, completely vulnerable. What is he doing? That woman behind me. Darius says, loud enough for every hunter to hear, is the last living heir of the first bloodline, and I will die before I let you take her. The forest holds its breath. The lead hunter tilts his head, considering, calculating. Then he nods. Kill him, he says. Take the girl. The hunters charge. I've never seen a battle before. I've seen fights, training scraps, dominance displays that got out of hand, but I've never seen this. The way Darius moves through the hunters, like water through rocks, his claws finding throats and joints and soft places between armor plates, faster than them, stronger. But there are 30 of them, and they have silver. The first bolt grazes his shoulder. Darius doesn't flinch. Doesn't even slow down. But I see the blood. Dark against his dark jacket. I see the way. His next strike is half a heartbeat slower. He can't keep this up. He's going to die. And I'm just standing here. Watching. Hiding. Like I've always done. Like I've always been told to do. Keep your head down. Stay invisible. Don't draw attention. The wolves handle the danger, while the Omega waits to be saved. But there's no one else coming to save us. My legs move before my brain catches up. I don't have claws. I don't have speed. I don't have strength. But I have something the hunters don't expect. I've spent 20 years being ignored, being dismissed, being treated like furniture. People don't see furniture. I grab a rock, a good one, heavy, with a sharp edge, and I run, not toward Darius. He's surrounded. I'd be dead in seconds. I run toward the edge of the clearing, toward the hunter who's hanging back, reloading his crossbow, his attention fixed entirely on the fight. Doesn't see me until the rock hits his temple. He drops. I drop with him, fumbling for his weapon. Crossbow is heavier than it looks. The bolt is already loaded. I raise it with shaking hands and I don't know how to shoot. I don't know how to do anything. You. Someone snarls. I look up. A hunter is standing over me. Bigger than the others. His face isn't empty. It's hungry. He reaches for my throat. I pull the trigger. The bolt takes him in the chest. He falls. I stare at his body, the blood spreading across his dark armor. At his eyes, still open, still hungry, even in death. I killed him. Just killed someone. Rowan! Darius's voice cuts through the fog, at my side suddenly. Blood on his face and his hands and his chest, grabs the crossbow from my numb fingers. Fires twice in quick succession, and 2 more hunters drop. How many left? I ask. Enough. He's right. There are at least 15 still standing, formed a half circle around us, blocking every escape route. The lead hunter is at the back, watching, waiting. You fight well, he calls to Darius. But you are one wolf, and the girl cannot save you. Darius's jaw tightens. He knows it's true. We're going to lose. But something is happening inside me. Something I don't understand. Fear is still there. Screaming, clawing, begging me to curl into a ball and close my eyes. But underneath the fear, something else is waking up. Heat, burning behind my ribs, spreading through my chest like fire through dry grass. What's happening to me? I whisper. Darius looks at me. Eyes go wide. Wider than I've ever seen them. Your eyes, he breathes. There. Take her now, the lead hunter shouts. The hunters rush forward. Darius throws himself in front of me, bolt to the thigh, grunts, keeps fighting. Another bolt. His arm, another. His side, bleeding from a dozen wounds, and he's still fighting, still protecting me, still refusing to fall. Why? Why would anyone die for me? The heat behind my ribs explodes. I don't shift. I can't shift. But something leaves my body. Something invisible and powerful and wrong slams into the hunters like a wave, throwing them backward, scattering them like leaves in a storm. Silence. Darius turns to look at me. The hunters are on the ground, groaning, unconscious. Dead. I did that. I did that. How? I start. Darius grabs my wrist, the one with the mark, burning now. Actually burning. The skin hot to the touch, the sigil glowing faintly in the darkness. First family, he says slowly, had abilities that no other wolves possessed. Abilities that could tear down the Alpha system in a single night. You said you didn't know what abilities. I didn't. He stares at my wrist, at the glowing mark. I still don't. Think. He stops, looks past me, toward the tree where the first hunter fell. The one with the hungry eyes. The one I killed. Something is sticking out of his jacket, pocket. Something that catches the light. I walk toward it before Darius can stop me. My legs are shaking. My hands are shaking. Everything is shaking. I reach into the pocket, and pull out a locket, small, silver, graved with a pattern I recognize. The same pattern from the leather pouch Darius threw at the auction. The same symbols that made my eyes hurt. My mother's locket. I gave this to her when I was 10. She was wearing it the day she died. This isn't possible, I say, but even as the words leave my mouth, I know they're wrong. The locket is warm in my hand, warm like it's been held recently. Warm like someone was wearing it against their skin. Someone who isn't dead. Darius limps to my side, looks at the locket, looks at my face. Rowan, he says carefully, what is that? I open the locket. Inside is a portrait, my mother's face. Younger than I remember, smiling in a way I never saw her smile. Beside her, a man I don't recognize. But that's not what makes me drop to my knees. It's the writing on the back, to my daughter, when you're ready to find me. Mom below it, an address. In Blackridge Pack territory. She never left, been there the whole time. And my father knew. My father lied. Father. Darius says slowly, as if reading my thoughts. He sold you at that auction for a reason, not for the money. To get you out. To make someone come for you. The locket burns against my palm. The question is, Darius continues, who was he trying to reach? I think about the stranger who appeared moments before the auction ended, the impossible bid. The way Alpha Alaric looked sick, with fear. Someone already knows you're alive. My father wasn't getting rid of me. He was sending a message, somewhere in Blackridge territory. My mother is waiting. The hunters' bodies lie scattered around us. The forest is quiet again, but somewhere far away. Somewhere closer than I think. A plan is already in motion. The locket feels like a heartbeat in my hand. Her heartbeat. She's alive, I whisper. Darius doesn't answer. He doesn't have to. The mark on my wrist burns brighter, and in the distance, a wolf howls. The locket doesn't stop burning. Even after I close it. Even after I shove it in my pocket. Even after we've walked for miles through the dark forest. Leaving the hunters' bodies behind. Heat seeps through the fabric, presses against my thigh, reminds me every few seconds that nothing I believed is true. Darius limps beside me. He won't let me help him. Every time I reach for his arm, he shakes his head. It's not pride. I've known pride my whole life, seen it rot men from the inside. This is something else, punishing himself. For what? I ask. He doesn't pretend to misunderstand. I should have seen them coming sooner. You killed 15 men with your bare hands. 16. A pause. And they weren't men. They were weapons. The council doesn't send soldiers. It sends tools. We walk in silence after that. Trees thin out as we climb higher. The ground turning rocky beneath our feet. The moon is rising. Full and white and indifferent to everything that's happened. The ruins, Darius says finally. Close. What ruins? He doesn't answer, just keeps walking, favoring his right leg. The bolt wound still bleeding through his makeshift bandage, going to collapse. And when he does, I'll be alone. Stop, I say. He doesn't stop. Grab his arm. Actually grab it, dig my fingers in, force him to turn around. You're bleeding out. You need to rest. We don't have time. For what? Die in the middle of nowhere. Because you're too stubborn to sit down for 5 minutes. Darius stares at me. Something shifts in his face. Not anger. Not impatience. Something softer. Something that looks almost like surprise. You're not what I expected, he says. Did you expect? Someone who needed saving. The words hit harder than they should, 'cause he's right. I've spent my whole life waiting to be saved. Waiting for someone to notice. Waiting for someone to care. But I'm not that person anymore. I can't be. Because no one is coming, and I'm tired of waiting. Sit down, I say again. This time, he does. The cave is small, hidden. Behind a waterfall I wouldn't have noticed on my own. Would have walked right past. Eyes. The way I've walked past everything important my whole life. Darius leads me inside. The sound of the water fades as we go deeper. The air changes. Warmer, drier, scented with something old and sweet. Like dried flowers, like pepper, like memory. The ruins aren't ruins, he says. Not really. They're a library. The only one left. A library of what? Truth. The passage opens into a chamber. I stop breathing. The walls are covered. Not with words, with images. Paintings so old, the colors have faded to ghosts of themselves. But the shapes are still clear. Wolves, hundreds of them. Running through forests that don't exist anymore. Standing before thrones that have turned to dust. At the center of every painting, the same symbol. My mark. This is the Hall of Origins, Darius says quietly. Built by the first family, 10,000 years ago. By their descendants when the council came. 10,000 years? The wolves have been here longer than the humans. Longer than the mountains. Longer than almost anything. He gestures to the walls. This is our real history, not the one the alphas teach. I walk to the nearest wall. The painting shows a woman, tall, dark hair, eyes that seem to follow me, even though they're made of faded pigment and stone, standing on a cliff, looking out at something I can't see, and her wrist. Her wrist. The mark. My mark. Who is she? I whisper. Her name was Serafina Vale. The name hits me like a physical blow. Vale. My name. Vale isn't a common pack name. Darius continues. It's not even a wolf name, originally. It was a title, a position. We're the keepers of the first family's memory. They recorded everything, preserved everything, and when the council came, they hid everything. Are you saying... I'm saying your family didn't end up in Blackridge Pack by accident. They were placed there, centuries ago, to protect something. To protect what? Darius walks to the far wall, presses his palm against a section that looks like solid rock. The stone shifts, grinds, opens into a smaller chamber, barely a closet, really, with a single pedestal in the center. On the pedestal, a book, not a large book, not fancy. Leather-bound, worn soft at the edges, the pages yellow and brittle. Looks like something you'd find in an attic and throw away. But my hands are shaking when I reach for it. Chronicles of the First Bloodline. Darius says, written by Serafina Vale herself, hidden for 300 years, waiting for someone with the mark to open it. I touch the cover. Heat explodes through my fingers. Not burning this time. Recognition, like the book knows me, like it's been waiting for me. For this moment, I open it. The first page is a family tree. Names upon names upon names, stretching back thousands of years. Trace the branches with my fingertip, watching the lines spread and converge, then spread again. Vale, Vale, Vale. At the very bottom, in handwriting that's newer than the rest. Fresher ink, shakier strokes. Rowan Vale. My name. My name is in this book. How? I breathe. Your mother put it there, Darius says, before she disappeared. She knew you would come here someday. She knew you would need to know. I turn the page. The handwriting changes. Older now. Formal. The words are in a language I don't recognize, but somehow, I understand them. First family carries the blood of the old world. They see what others cannot. They hear what others cannot, become what others cannot. And for this, they are hunted. For this, they are destroyed. For this, they must be forgotten. But they weren't forgotten, I say. I'm here. You're here, Darius agrees. And now the council knows. Now everyone knows. I keep reading. Pages blur together. Stories. Of wolves who could sense danger before it arrived, who could feel the emotions of everyone around them, who could shift into something more than wolf, something older, something that hasn't been seen in centuries. The first family does not simply shift. The first family becomes. Becomes what? The book doesn't say, but at the bottom of the final page, written in the same shaky handwriting as my name. Rowan, if you're reading this, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to show you. Council watches everyone who carries our blood. The only way to keep you safe was to keep you ignorant, to let them believe you were nothing, to let them believe I was dead. I touch the words, smudge the ink, fresh, so fresh. She wrote this recently. She's alive. She's been alive this whole time. Your mother, Darius says carefully, is the last surviving member of the first family besides you. She went into hiding to protect you, to draw the council's attention away from her daughter. By pretending to be dead, by becoming someone else, somewhere else. Somewhere even I couldn't find. I close the book, hold it against my chest, feel my heartbeat through the leather cover. She's in Blackridge, I say. The locket proved it. She never left. Darius nods slowly. Then we go back. Back to the pack that sold me? Back to the pack that's been hiding your mother for 5 years. He meets my eyes. Someone there knows the truth. Someone there has been protecting her. Someone there is going to help us. Or kill us. Or kill us. I should be afraid. I am afraid. But underneath the fear, something else is growing. Purpose. For the first time in my life, I know what I need to do. We leave at dawn, I say. Darius raises an eyebrow. We? You bought me. You're stuck with me. Something flickers across his face. Almost a smile. Almost. I don't sleep. Instead, I walk through the Hall of Origins, tracing the paintings with my fingers, memorizing the faces of wolves who died so I could live, my ancestors, my blood. They see what others cannot. They hear what others cannot. They become what others cannot. Power I felt in the forest. The wave that threw the hunters back. That wasn't random. That wasn't an accident. That was me. That's always been me. I stop in front of the last painting. It's different from the others. Smaller, hidden, in a corner. Almost invisible, unless you're looking for it. No one would look for it, unless they knew it was there. Unless they had the mark. The painting shows a throne, not a wolf throne, not the rough-hewn wood and animal pelts the alphas use. A real throne, gold and silver, and gems that seem to glow even in the painted light. And sitting on the throne, a woman. Me. No, not me. Someone who looks like me, beneath the painting, carved into the stone. The last hair shall rise. The last hair shall fall. The sad hair shall choose. Choose what? I press my palm against the carving. The stone is warm. The mark on my wrist is warmer, somewhere deep in the ruins. Somewhere beneath my feet. Something wakes up. Darius appears at my shoulder. What did you do? I don't know. The floor trembles. Dust falls from the ceiling. And in the center of the chamber, the stone begins to crack. Darius pulls me back just as the floor collapses. Not completely. Just a section, maybe 6 feet across. A hole opening into darkness below. Cold air rises from the gap, carrying a scent I've never experienced before. Old. So old. Older than the ruins. Stay here, Darius says. No, Rowan. I said no. I step to the edge of the hole. Look down. Light down there. Faint. Flickering. Like candles burning in a room that hasn't seen the sun in centuries. I need to see, I say. Darius sighs. Then we go together. He lowers himself first. Lowers me after him. The walls of the shaft are smooth. Too smooth. Like they were carved by something sharper than any tool. We drop into the room. It's small, circular. The walls are covered in the same symbols as the leather pouch. The ones that made my eyes hurt. Here, in the darkness, they don't hurt. They glow, not brightly, just enough to see. In the center of the room, a pedestal, like the one upstairs, but older. Taller, black stone that seems to drink the light. And on the pedestal, a scroll, sealed with wax, on the wax pressed into the seal. My mark. I reach for it. Darius grabs my wrist. Wait, why? Because whatever's on that scroll, once you read it, you can't go back. You can't pretend, can't hide. I look at him, at his blood-stained clothes, his exhausted eyes, hand wrapped around my wrist like he's afraid I'll disappear. I've been pretending my whole life, I say. I'm done. I break the seal, unroll the scroll, and read the first line. I, Seraphina Vale, keeper of the first bloodline, do hereby name my successor, the last heir of the old world, Rowan Vale. Below it, a list. Names, dates, events, birth, hiding, the auction, the awakening. Someone has been tracking my entire life, recording everything. Waiting for this moment, and at the bottom of the scroll, written in fresh ink, she is ready. Send her to me. M, my mother's initial. She knows I'm here. She knows I found the ruins. She's been waiting for me to be ready. Darius reads over my shoulder. Breath catches. The last hair, he murmurs. It's real, I thought. I hoped, but I never. He stops. Looks at me. Really looks at me. You're not just a wolf, he says slowly. You're not just an omega. Not even just the first family. Then, what am I? Darius takes the scroll from my hands, turns it over. On the back, written in letters of gold. The last heir shall unmake the throne or become it. There is no third choice. The floor trembles again. The candles flicker. And somewhere above us, somewhere in the forest, a horn sounds. Not a hunting horn. A warning. Council knows we're here, Darius says. The horn sounds again. Closer. We need to move. He grabs my hand, pulls me toward the shaft. Now, I let him pull me, but I don't let go of the scroll, and I don't stop looking at those words. And unmake the throne, or become it. There is no third choice. The horn sounds a third time. And in the darkness of the hidden room, the glowing symbols on the walls begin to whisper. Name. The whispering follows me up the shaft. Rowan. 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 The walls are speaking my name. Not in words, in vibrations. In the way the stone hums against my palms as I climb. In the way the air seems to thicken around me. Heavy, with something that isn't quite sound. Darius pulls me out of the hole. The chamber above is different now. The paintings are brighter. The colors haven't changed. I know they haven't. But I see them differently. More clearly. Like someone finally handed me glasses I didn't know I needed. She is ready. Send her to me. My mother's words echo in my skull. She's in Blackridge, I say. The locket proved it. Your ruins proved it. Been there the whole time. Darius nods. His face is pale beneath the blood. Too pale. Bolt wounds are still bleeding. You're dying, I say. Not yet. The horn. Council outriders. Be here in an hour. We need to be gone in 10 minutes. I look at the scroll in my hands. Golden letters on the back. The last heir shall unmake the throne or become it. What does that mean? I ask. Darius doesn't answer. Already moving toward the entrance, favoring his injured leg. His breathing shallow and fast. He knows, just won't tell me. 10 minutes, I say. Then you're going to explain everything. I'll explain what I can. Everything, Darius. He stops, turns. The winter storm eyes are darker now. Shadowed by something I can't name. Current alpha bloodlines didn't rise because the old ones died out. He says quietly. They rose because someone helped them murder the old ones. Someone inside the first family. Someone who wanted power more than loyalty. My blood turns cold. Family. Darius continues. The Vales. They weren't just keepers of history. They were the protectors of the first family, sworn to defend them with their lives. Sworn to defend them for thousands of years, veil after veil, generation after generation, until one of them broke the oath. The words hit like stones. Who? Darius looks at the scroll in my hands. The answer is in there, somewhere. But I don't know how to read it. I don't have the mark. The mark. I press my palm against the scroll. The wax seal. The one I broke. It's warm again, pulsing, like a heartbeat. Show me, I think. The scroll glows, and images flood my mind. 300 years ago, throne room. But not like any I've seen. Gold and silver and light pouring through windows made of crystal. Wolves in robes, not furs. Wolves with crowns on their heads and power in their veins. The first family, 7 of them, 7 thrones. And at the center, the highest throne, empty. Waiting, a man steps forward. He has my eyes, my cheekbones, my mark on his wrist, a veil, my ancestor. He's speaking to someone I can't see, someone hidden in the shadows. Trust me, he says. They've trusted my family for 10,000 years. They'll never see it coming. The shadows move. Good, a voice replies. Then tonight we end them. The vision fractures, fire, screaming, wolves with red eyes. The same red eyes as the assassins, tearing through the throne room, first family falling, one by one, their blood soaking into the golden floor, and my ancestor, the veil. He's standing at the edge of the room, watching, doing nothing. The vision ends, I gasp. The scroll falls from my hands. Darius catches it before it hits the ground. What did you see? He asks. Someone in my family. 300 years ago. He betrayed them. He let the council in. Darius's jaw tightens. I was afraid of that. You knew? I suspected. The records are fragmented, but the one thing every fragment agrees on. The first family didn't fall to an outside enemy, fell to someone they trusted. I think about my father. About the way he looked at me on the auction block. About the words he said when I left. Don't come back. Not cruelty. Warning. He knew, I whisper. My father knew what I am. He knew about the bloodline. He knew about the betrayal. Then why did he sell you? I close my eyes. Because the pack was watching. The council was watching. Because the only way to keep me safe was to make everyone believe I was worthless. He was trying to protect me, I say, in the only way he knew how. Darius is quiet for a long moment. Then your father is a better man than I thought. Or a worse one. I open my eyes, because if he knew the truth, and he still let them put me on that stage, if he still let them humiliate me, then he made choices you'll have to live with. But right now, we have bigger problems. The horn sounds again, closer, much closer. We run. Darius pushes through the pain, through the blood loss, through everything, day beside him, matching his pace, refusing to let him fall. The forest blurs past. The moon climbs higher, and somewhere behind us, the hunters get closer. Blackridge is half a day's walk. Darius pants. We'll never make it before they catch us. Then we don't walk. I stop. Darius stumbles to a halt beside me. What are you doing? I'm thinking. Think faster. I look at the trees, at the moon, the scroll still clutched in my hand. They see what others cannot. They hear what others cannot, come what others cannot. I close my eyes, and I listen, not with my ears, with something deeper, something that's been sleeping in my bones for 20 years and is finally waking up. The forest speaks to me, not in words, in feelings, in directions, in the way the wind moves and the leaves rustle and the animals hide. There, path, hidden, safe. This way, I say. I grab Darius's hand and pull him off the trail. The path isn't a path, game trail, barely visible, overgrown with thorns and low branches. But the thorns don't cut me. Branches don't scratch me. They move. Just slightly, just enough, letting me pass. Darius watches me with an expression I can't read. How are you doing that? He asks. I don't know, but I do know. The bloodline. The first family. The power that's been waiting for me to claim it. We emerge from the thorns into a clearing I've never seen before. Small. Sheltered. Stream running through the center, cold and clear. And on the far side of the stream, a cabin. Small. Old. Smoke rising from the chimney. Someone is home. Is that? Darius starts. No. Blackridge is still hours away. Then who? The cabin door opens. A woman steps out. She's old. Older than anyone I've ever seen. Her hair is white. Her face is lined. Her body is bent by centuries of weight. But her eyes are young, and they're looking directly at me. I've been waiting for you, Rowan Vale, she says. Come inside. We don't have much time. Darius steps in front of me. Who are you? The woman smiles. I'm the reason your bloodline survived. she says. I'm the one who hid your mother. I'm the one who made sure the council never found her. She looks at me. I'm the one who knows how to destroy the Alpha system forever. Destroy the Alpha system. Unmake the throne, or become it. You're a Vale, I say. The woman nods. The last of the old Vales. The ones who kept the oath instead of breaking it. She steps aside. Come. Your mother left something for you. Something she's been protecting for 20 years. I walk toward the cabin. Darius grabs my arm. Could be a trap, he whispers. It could be. I look at the old woman, at her young eyes, at the mark on her wrist. The same mark as mine. But it's the only chance we have. I pull away from Darius, and I walk inside. The cabin is bigger than it looks. Not physically, spiritually. Air is thicker here, heavier, charged with something that makes my skin prickle. Shelves line the walls, hundreds of them. Thousands, filled with books and scrolls and objects I don't recognize. Everything the council tried to destroy, the old woman says behind me. Everything the Vales saved. 300 years of hiding. 300 years of waiting. Waiting for what? For you. She walks to a shelf at the far end of the room, pulls down a box. Wooden carved, covered in the same symbols as the scroll. The first family had 7 members, she says. 7 thrones. 7 bloodlines. When the betrayal happened, 6 of them died. And the 7th? The old woman opens the box. Inside is a dagger. Not large, not fancy. Just a blade, dark metal, wrapped in leather that's worn smooth by centuries of handling. But when I look at it, it looks back. The 7th survived, the old woman says, hidden by a Vale who kept the oath, protected, for 300 years, down from mother to daughter, waiting for the right moment. She lifts the dagger, holds it out to me. 7th bloodline is yours, Rowan. You're not just the last heir. Her eyes meet mine. You're the only heir, the last of the first family. The one the prophecies have been waiting for. I reach for the dagger. My fingers close around the hilt. And the world shifts. I'm in Blackridge. Not the Blackridge I know. Different one. Older. Darker. The pack square is full of wolves, but they're not buying and selling. They're kneeling before a throne, before me. I'm sitting on the throne. My throne, the one from the painting, standing beside me. Alpha Alaric. He's not kneeling. He's holding a blade to my throat. You should have stayed dead, he whispers. The blade presses in. Blood drips down my neck. The wolves keep kneeling. They don't see. They never see. Going to die here. And no one will even notice. I drop the dagger. It clatters to the floor. The vision shatters. Rowan? Darius is at my side, gripping my shoulders. Rowan, look at me. I look at him. Face is blurred. I'm crying. I didn't realize I was crying. What did you see? The old woman asks. Alpha Alaric, I whisper. He's going to kill me. The old woman's face doesn't change. Then we'd better make sure he doesn't get the chance. We don't stay. The old woman gives us food, bandages, directions. She tells us where to find my mother. Exactly where. And she tells us what to expect when we get there. Pack doesn't know, she says. Most of them. But Alpha Alaric knows. He's known since the day you were born. How? Because he was there. When your mother gave birth. When the midwife saw the mark on your wrist and tried to scream. I feel sick. Been watching you your whole life, the old woman continues. Waiting for you to show signs of the bloodline. Waiting for an excuse to eliminate you. But he didn't. Because your father protected you. Made you seem weak. Made you seem worthless. Made everyone believe you were nothing. The old woman touches my cheek. He loved you, Rowan. Only way he knew how. He sold me. He let them humiliate me. He watched me stand on that stage. Sometimes love looks like cruelty, the old woman says. Sometimes it's the only way to keep someone alive. I don't know if I believe her, but I know I need to find out. We leave at midnight. The old woman watches from the cabin door as we disappear into the trees. Remember, she calls after us. The Alpha will panic when he learns you're alive. He'll do something desperate, something public. How do you know? Because I've been watching him for 30 years. Desperate men always reveal themselves. We walk. The forest is quiet now. The hunters have fallen back, regrouped, changed their strategy. But they're still out there, still hunting. And in Blackridge, Alpha Alaric is doing the same. Dawn breaks over the pack territory. Recognize the trees, the stream, fence line where I used to sit as a child, watching the older wolves train, dreaming of a life I'd never have. Home, except it was never home. It was a prison. Stay close, Darius murmurs. We're not safe until we find your mother. We circle around the pack square. Stick to the edges. Stay in the shadows where I spent my whole life hiding. And then I see it. My father's house. Small, run down, the same as it's always been. But the door is open, and someone is inside. Wait, I whisper. Darius stops. Creep forward. Peer through the doorway. My father is sitting at the kitchen table. He's alone. He's crying. In his hands, a photograph. My mother. Dad, I say. He looks up. His face goes white. Rowan. His voice cracks. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be gone. The council found me. The hunters found me. Everyone found me, except the one person who's supposed to protect me. My father stands, knocks over his chair. Don't understand. Then make me understand. He opens his mouth, and from outside, a horn. Not a hunting horn, the pack horn, summoning everyone to the square. My father's face goes from white to gray. He knows, he whispers. Alaric knows you're back. Then we run. No. My father grabs my shoulders. You listen to me. You listen to everything I should have told you years ago. Dad, your mother didn't disappear. She didn't die. She's in the tunnels, beneath the pack square. She's been there for 5 years, hiding from the council, hiding from Alaric, hiding from everyone. The tunnels? The old ones. Dane, the ones the first family built, before Blackridge existed. She's waiting for you. Always been waiting. Another horn blast. Louder. Go, my father says. Now, what about you? He looks at me. Really looks at me. For the first time in 20 years, I see love in his eyes. I'll buy you time, he says. He walks to the door, opens it, steps outside, and shouts loud enough for the whole pack to hear. Alpha Alaric, I have something to confess. The pack square fills quickly. Wolves pour in from every direction. Confused, curious, hungry for drama. They don't know what's happening. They just know something is. Darius pulls me into the shadows behind the old meeting hall. We need to move, he whispers. The tunnels. In a minute, I watch my father, standing in the center of the square, alone. The Alpha's guards are surrounding him, but they haven't moved yet. They're waiting for orders. Alaric appears on the stage, the same stage where I was auctioned, the same stage where my life was sold for silver. Marcus Vale, Alaric says. His voice carries across the square. You have something to confess? My father lifts his chin. I know who Rowan's mother really is, he says. I've always known. And I know why you've been trying to kill her since the day she was born. The crowd gasps. Alaric's face doesn't change. But his eyes are terrified. Rowan Vale is not an Omega, my father continues. Not worthless. She's not invisible. He turns, looks directly at the shadows where I'm hiding. He knows I'm here. She's the last heir of the first bloodline. My father says, Alaric has been lying to all of you for 20 years. The crowd explodes. Shouting, screaming, demanding answers. Alaric raises his hand. The crowd falls silent. Marcus Vale, the Alpha says quietly, is a liar and a traitor. Daughter is nothing. She was sold to a stranger. She's gone. Dead. I'm not dead. Leave my mouth before I can stop them. Every head turns. Every eye finds me. Step out of the shadows. Darius grabs for me. Misses. I walk into the square. I'm not dead, I say again. louder, and I'm not nothing. Alaric stares at me. For a moment, just a moment, I see fear in his face. Real fear. Then, his expression hardens. Rowan Vale, he says, loud enough for the whole pack to hear, is hereby sentenced to death for crimes against the bloodline. The crowd gasps. By order of the Alpha Council, Alaric continues, and by my authority as Alpha of Blackridge Pack. On what charges? Someone shouts. Alaric ignores them. Rowan Vale will be executed at sundown. He looks at me. Bring me her head. The guards move. Darius appears at my side. Run. Where? Anywhere. But before we can move, the ground shakes. Pack Square cracks. And from the fissure in the stone, light, golden light, pouring up from somewhere deep beneath our feet. The crowd screams. Alaric stumbles back. From the light, a voice. A voice I know better than my own. You will not touch my daughter. Golden light fades. The voice echoes, and then nothing. Stand in the cracked square, with my heart slamming against my ribs, waiting for my mother to emerge from the fissure, waiting for her to save me, the way she's been waiting to save me for 5 years. But the fissure is empty, the light is gone, and Alaric is laughing. Your mother, he says, and his voice drips with contempt, has been hiding in those tunnels for 5 years. Dan, do you really think she's going to show herself now? In front of witnesses. The guards close in. Darius pulls me backward. We need to go. Now. Wait. There's no one coming, Rowan. There's just us. He's right. I hate that he's right. We run. The packed square dissolves into chaos behind us. Shouting. Screaming. Sound of wolves shifting. Not into their full forms, but halfway, the way they do when they're ready to kill. Darius drags me through alleys I've known since childhood. Past the baker's shop where I swept floors, past the well, where the other Omegas used to throw mud at my dress, a house where my aunt lives. My father's sister, the one who used to pinch my arm when I walked too slowly, she'll be in the square, watching, cheering. The thought makes me want to vomit. Here. Darius shoves me through a doorway I don't recognize. A cellar, dark and cold, and smelling of old potatoes and older secrets. He pulls the door closed behind us. We have maybe 10 minutes before they search every building. Then, we shouldn't have stopped. We needed to breathe. I want to argue. I want to scream. I want to run back to the square and demand that Alaric say those words to my face instead of hiding behind his guards and his counsel and his lies. Darius is right. We needed to breathe. So I breathe. The cellar has a second door. Darius finds it by accident, trips over a loose board, and nearly falls through. Door is small, hidden, painted the same color as the wall. Hidden on purpose. I crawl through first. Darius follows. We emerge in a narrow passage, barely wide enough for my shoulders, the walls rough and damp. The tunnels, I whisper. Your mother's tunnels. She's been here this whole time, hiding, waiting. Why didn't she come out? Why didn't she save me? Stay focused, Darius says, as if reading my thoughts. We find your mother. We get answers, and we figure out the rest. We walk. The passage slopes downward. The air grows colder. The darkness presses against my eyes until I can't tell if they're open or closed. And then, light, faint, flickering, torches mounted on the walls. Someone has been here recently. Someone is maintaining these tunnels. My father, I say. He knew about this place. He's been keeping it ready. For what? For her. For my mother. For the day she finally decided to stop hiding. The passage opens into a chamber. Not large, but not small either. The ceiling rises above us, lost in shadow. See, the walls are covered in the same symbols I saw in the ruins. The ones that made my eyes hurt before. The ones that glow now. And in the center of the chamber, a table, a map, and a woman. She's not my mother. She's older, gray-haired, dressed in simple clothes that might have been expensive once, a long time ago. Hello, Rowan, she says. I know her face. I've seen it at pack gatherings, at holiday meals, funerals and weddings, and all the small ceremonies that mark a wolf's life. My aunt, my father's sister, the one who used to pinch my arm. You, I breathe. She nods. Me. You're supposed to be at the square. I was. She pulls out a chair, sits down, gestures for me to do the same. I left when Alaric started shouting. I've heard enough of his shouting to last a lifetime. Darius stays standing. Body is tense, ready, his eyes fixed on my aunt like she's a threat. She is a threat. Everyone is a threat. Why are you here? I ask. My aunt looks at me. For the first time in my life, I see something other than coldness in her eyes. Regret. I'm here to tell you the truth, she says. All of it. Before someone else tells you a version that gets you killed. She starts with my mother. Your mother wasn't supposed to survive. My aunt says, the council came for the first family. They killed everyone. Men, women, children. They didn't leave witnesses. But someone left a witness. Yes. My aunt's voice drops. A Vale. One of us. The one who helped them. My ancestor. The one from the vision. Didn't just help them kill the first family. My aunt continues. He helped them hide the bodies, destroy the records, rewrite the histories. He did everything they asked because they promised him something in return. What? Power, status, a place at the new table. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. They gave him Blackridge, this is entire territory, and they told him to keep it. Blackridge, my home, built on betrayal, for 300 years. The Vales ruled Blackridge. My aunt says. Not openly, we never took the title of Alpha, but we controlled everything. Who married whom? Who inherited what? Who lived and who died? You're saying my family has been running the pack this whole time? I'm saying your family is the pack. Everyone else is just living in it. I think about my father, about his position. Not powerful, not respected, just there. A middle-aged Omega with a dead wife and a worthless daughter. That doesn't make sense, I say. If my family controls everything, why is my father nothing? Why am I nothing? My aunt's face softens. Because your father refused to play the game, she says, when your mother came to Blackridge. Pregnant, alone, terrified. She came to us for help. She knew what we were, what we'd done. She knew we owed the first family a debt we could never repay. She came to you? To all of us, surviving Vales. We held a meeting, a real one, in this very chamber, and we decided to help her. But why? My family betrayed the first family. Why protect the last survivor? My aunt is quiet for a long moment, because some of us still remember the oath. She says finally, some of us still believe we're supposed to protect, not destroy. Some of us. She stops, swallows. Some of us are trying to make it right. Not all of you. No. My aunt meets my eyes. Not all of us. The door opens. Another woman walks in. Younger than my aunt, darker hair, sharper eyes. My cousin, Lena. The one who used to throw bread crusts at my back when I scrubbed the floors. Hello, Rowan, she says. Long time no see. Darius steps between us. Who is she, my cousin? I can barely get the words out. Lena. Her mother is the current head of the Vale family, my aunt says quietly. And the reason your mother has been hiding in these tunnels for 5 years. Lena smiles. It's not a nice smile. Don't look at me like that, she says. I'm not the one who betrayed anyone. I'm just the one who inherited the consequences. You knew, I say, all those years. When you threw things at me. When you called me names. When you laughed at me on the auction block. You knew. I knew you were dangerous. Lena walks to the table, traces her finger along the map. I knew your mother was dangerous. I knew that as long as both of you were alive, my family's position was at risk. Your family's position? The council doesn't know the Vales helped them, Lena says. Think we were victims too. Innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire. As long as they keep thinking that, we keep our territory, our power, our lives. She looks at me. The council finds out the truth. That a Vale helped destroy the first family. That Vales have been hiding the last survivor for 20 years. They'll kill you. They'll kill all of us. Everyone with Vale blood. Every child. Every grandchild. Every distant cousin who's ever attended a family gathering. So, this is about survival. This is about my daughter. Lena's voice cracks. 3 years old, Rowan. She doesn't know any of this. She just likes chasing butterflies in the meadow. And if the council finds out who we really are... She stops, takes a breath. I'm sorry, she says. I'm so sorry. I can't let you leave these tunnels. Darius moves, too slow. The walls open, pour through. Not guards, not hunters, family. Faces I recognize, names I know. Uncles, aunts, cousins. All of them looking at me like I'm already dead. The council is on its way, Lena says. They'll be here by nightfall, and when they arrive, they're going to find the last heir of the first bloodline. They're going to take her, and they're going to leave the rest of us alone. You're handing me over. I'm saving my family. I'm your family. Lena's eyes glisten. You were. But you're also the reason we're all going to die unless we make a choice. She looks at my aunt, the other Vales, in the room, at the map on the table and the torches on the walls, and everything her family has built, on bones and betrayal. I'm sorry, she says again, and then she turns and walks away. They don't chain me. They don't have to. There are too many of them. And Darius, bleeding, exhausted, outnumbered, can't fight them all. My aunt approaches me. Sorry, she whispers. I tried to stop her. I tried to convince the others. But they're afraid, Rowan. So afraid. Of what? Of losing everything. I look at her, at the woman who used to pinch my arm, who used to look through me, like I was made of glass. You sold my mother to the council, I say. When she first came to Blackridge, you told them where she was. My aunt flinches. Not me, my sister. Lena's mother. She was the head of the family then. She made the deal. What deal? The council would let the Vales keep Blackridge, would let us keep our lives, exchange for the last survivor of the first family. My mother survived because someone warned her, someone in the family, someone who still remembered the oath. My father, he warned her, and she's been hiding ever since. My father, I say. He's the reason she's alive. My aunt nods. He loved her, still loves her, spent 5 years bringing her food, keeping the tunnels maintained, making sure she didn't go mad from the isolation. And you let him. I couldn't stop him. Eventually. She pauses. Eventually, I didn't want to. Then, why are you letting this happen now? My aunt looks at the wolves surrounding us, the family she's known her whole life, at the daughter she raised and the choices she made and the price she's paid. Because I'm tired, Rowan, she says. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of watching the people I love destroy themselves for power. That was never worth having. She reaches out, touches my cheek. But that doesn't mean I get to be brave. That doesn't mean I get to choose differently. I've spent 60 years being a coward, and I don't know how to be anything else. She's not going to help me. None of them are. They take us to a room at the end of the tunnel. Small, windowless, door that locks from the outside. Darius sits against the far wall, his head in his hands. I should have seen this coming, he mutters. Should have known the family would turn on you. You couldn't have known. I'm supposed to protect you. You're supposed to keep me alive. Done that. Not for much longer. He's right. The council is coming, and when they get here... I don't let myself finish the thought. Hours pass. The torchlight flickers. Darius falls asleep. His body finally giving in to exhaustion and blood loss. I sit beside him, listening to his breathing, trying to memorize the sound. This might be the last night I hear anything. This might be the last night I feel anything. This might be the last night I am anything. The door opens. My father steps inside. He looks older than he did this morning. Smaller. Broken in ways I don't know how to fix. Rowan, he says, I need to tell you something. Then tell me. He sits across from me. I was the one who told the council about you. The words don't make sense. What? The auction. The stranger. The hunters. He won't look at me. I arranged everything. You sold me. I sold you to someone I knew would recognize the mark. Someone who would take you to the ruins. Someone who would help you awaken. Why? Because your mother is dying. I stop breathing. Tunnels, my father says. They're poisoned. Something in the walls. Something old. Something from the first family. It's killing her. She has weeks, maybe less. Then, why didn't you? Because she won't leave. She's been protecting something down here. Something she says is more important than her life. What? He finally looks at me. You. My father leads me through the tunnels. Darius follows, barely conscious, leaning on my shoulder. The other Vals watch us pass. Some look guilty. Some look relieved. Some look like they've already mourned me and moved on. Family. This is what family looks like when power is more important than love. We stop at a door I've never seen, carved from wood so old it's turned to stone. My father presses his palm against it. The door opens. Inside a garden. Underground. Impossible. Flowers blooming in torchlight, their petals glowing faintly. These. Their scent filling the air, with something that makes my chest ache. At the center of the garden, my mother. She's sitting on a stone bench. Her hands folded in her lap, her hair longer than I remember, her face thinner, but her eyes are exactly the same. Rowan, she whispers. I run to her. I fall at her feet. I wrap my arms around her and sob like the child I was when I thought she died. I'm here, she says, stroking my hair. I'm here, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're sick. Yes, the tunnels. I know. She pulls back, looks at my face. But I had to stay. I had to protect it. Protect what? My mother stands, walks to the center of the garden, kneels. Beneath her hands, the earth shifts, the flowers part, and something rises from the soil. A stone, black, pulsing with light. The heart of the first family, my mother says. The source of their power, the reason the council murdered them. She looks at me. Only thing that can destroy the Alpha system forever. She holds out the stone. It's yours now, Rowan. It was always yours. I reach for it. My fingers brush the surface, and the world screams. I'm somewhere else. Somewhere dark. Somewhere cold. Someone is standing in front of me. A woman. Beautiful. Terrible. Wearing a crown of thorns and a dress of shadows. You're late, she says. Who are you? I'm the reason you exist. I'm the reason the bloodline survived. I'm the reason the council has been hunting you since the day you were born. She steps closer. I'm your grandmother. My grandmother, the head of the first family. The one who was supposed to be dead. Council didn't kill all of us, she says. They killed most of us. But the ones who survived, we went into hiding. We waited. We planned. Planned for what? She smiles. Planned for you. The vision fractures. I'm back in the garden. Stone is in my hand. And my mother is staring at me with an expression I don't understand. What did you see? She asks. Your mother. My mother goes pale. She's alive? She said she's been waiting for me. The ground trembles. The flowers wilt. And somewhere above us, somewhere in the packed square, a voice roars. Bring me the hair. The council has arrived. My mother grabs my shoulders. You need to run. Where? Anywhere. Everywhere. The stone will protect you. How? But she's already pushing me toward the door. Darius is there. He takes my hand, pulls me away. Wait. I'll find you again, my mother says. I promise. You're sick. I'm dying. She smiles. Not today. Today, I'm saving my daughter. The door closes between us. Darius runs. I run with him. Behind us, my mother's voice, singing an old song, a lullaby. just one she used to sing when I was small enough to fit in her arms. The stone burns in my hand. The tunnels blur past, somewhere in the darkness. Someone is waiting for me. Someone who trusted me. Someone who just betrayed my location to the council. I don't know who yet. But when I find out, it's going to break me. Darkness lifts in pieces. First sound, moaning. Wolves in pain, scattered across the pack square like broken dolls. Sight, torches still burning, bodies still moving. The crown of thorns, gone. My grandmother, gone. Touch. Someone's hand in mine. Darius. His fingers are cold but alive. Darius. My voice cracks. Up, walk on. His eyes open, winter storm gray, clouded with confusion, then sharpening as memory returns. The crown. Gone. She's gone. She controlled us. He sits up, slowly wincing. Every wolf in the square. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. Couldn't. I know, I felt it too. The weight of her will pressing down on mine. The way my body obeyed while my mind screamed. She wasn't saving anyone. She was claiming an army. The square is devastation. Wolves stumble to their feet, clutching their heads, their throats, their chests. Some are crying. Some are vomiting. Some just stand there, staring at nothing, their eyes empty. Is Alaric's. Someone shouts. The question ripples through the crowd. Where is the Alpha? Where is Marcus? Where is anyone who can tell us what just happened? I find him near the stage. Alaric is on his hands and knees. Fine clothes are torn. His face is streaked with dirt and blood. He looks like a man who's been dragged through a war and left for dead. But he's alive, and he's looking at me. You, he whispers. This is your fault. I didn't put that crown on her head. You brought her here. You awakened the bloodline. You murdered my family. My voice is quiet, but it carries. You helped the council erase. In an entire bloodline, you poisoned tunnels to kill my mother. You sold me on an auction block like I was nothing. The crowd falls silent. Wolves turn to watch. Now your pack is splitting. I continue. Your allies are abandoning you, and the woman who wore that crown just proved that everything you built was built on lies. Alaric's face twists. I did what was necessary. You did what was easy. He lunges. I don't move. Darius does. Steps between us, claws out, ready to tear the Alpha apart. But Alaric isn't lunging at me, lunging at the stage. At the empty chairs where the council sat, at the masks lying in the dust. Council will return. He shouts, grabbing one of the masks, holding it up for the crowd to see. The council will restore order. They will. The council is gone. A new voice, old, tired, my father. He walks into the square from the direction of the tunnels. His clothes are damp, his hands are shaking, but his voice is steady. The council fled when the crown appeared, he says. They're not coming back. Not today. Not ever. How do you know? Alaric demands. My father holds up a scroll. Different from the one my grandmother used. Smaller, sealed with black wax. This arrived 10 minutes ago, by Crow. He pauses. The council is dissolving. Silence. Dissolving. Alphas. Who renounced them today. My father continues. We're the first, but not the last. 3 more packs have withdrawn in the past hour. 5 more are voting now. He looks at Alaric. Council is gone, Marcus. Your allies are gone. Your power. My power comes from the bloodline. Alaric throws the mask aside, turns to face the crowd. I am Alpha of Blackridge by birthright. By tradition. By law. The law was built on murder. Someone shouts. Tradition is just peer pressure from dead people. Someone else adds. Laughter. Nervous. Unsteady. But laughter. Alaric's face goes red. You think this is funny? You think she, he points at me, will save you? She's an Omega. Nothing. She's the last hiss. My aunt steps forward. The woman who used to pinch my arm. The woman who stood by while her family plotted against me. The woman who told me she was tired of being a coward. She walks to the center of the square, looks at Alaric, looks at the crowd, looks at me. 300 years. She says, "The Vale family has carried a secret. We helped the council destroy the first family. We helped them hide the bodies. We helped them rewrite the histories." Gasps, shock, betrayal. My sister, Lena's mother, made a deal with the council, Blackridge, for silence. Our lives for their lies. She turns to face her own family, Vales standing at the edges of the square, watching, waiting. "I was part of it," she says. "I kept the secret. I watched Rowan grow up, and I pinched her arm, and I told myself it was for her own good. If she stayed weak, no one would notice her. No one would hunt her." She swallows. "I was wrong." The confession takes an hour. My aunt tells them everything. The massacre, the cover-up, the deal, Biz. The way the Vales have been controlling Blackridge from the shadows for generations. The crowd listens. Some cry, some rage. Some just stand there, numb, their entire understanding of the world crumbling around them. Alaric listens too. His face goes from red to white to gray, because my aunt's confession doesn't just implicate the Vales. It implicates him. He knew, my aunt says, pointing at Alaric. Marcus knew about the deal. He inherited the secret when he became Alpha, been working with the council for 20 years. "Please," Alaric whispers, "explain Rowan's mother." My aunt's voice hardens. "Plain why she's been hiding in tunnels beneath this square for 5 years. Explain why you poisoned those tunnels. Explain why you tried to have Rowan killed. Not once, but repeatedly. Starting from the day she was born." The crowd turns to Alaric, waiting, hungry. "She's a threat," Alaric says. "The bloodline is dangerous," Council said. The council lied. This time, the voice comes from the edge of the square. Alpha I don't recognize. Silverpaw colors. The woman who renounced the council first, Alpha Marlena, she walks through the crowd. And wolves part for her like water. "I've spent 40 years believing the council's lies," she says. Believing that the first family was corrupt, that the Alphas saved us, that the old bloodlines deserve to die. She stops in front of Alaric. "Today, I saw a woman wear a crown of thorns and control every wolf in this square. That wasn't corruption. That was power. Power the council has been hiding from us. Power they've been using for themselves." She looks at me. Power that belongs to her. "No," Alaric says. "No, no, no. The council is dissolving," Marlena continues. "Your allies are gone. Your pack is turning against you." She tilts her head. "What do you have left, Marcus?" Alaric opens his mouth, closes it, looks around the square. At the wolves who used to obey him, at the Vales who used to support him, at the stage where he used to stand. No one is looking at him anymore. They're looking at me. The confrontation happens at dusk. Alaric stands at the edge of the square, alone. His guards have abandoned him. His family has abandoned him, even the Vales. The family he spent decades serving have turned their backs. I walk toward him. Darius stays close. My father stays closer. But neither of them stops me when I step forward alone. "Marcus," I say, flinches at my voice. "You sold me for silver. You sentenced me to death, poisoned my mother, and hid her in the dark like a shameful secret. I did what I had to do." "No." I shake my head. "You did what was easy, what was safe. What kept you on your throne. The throne is mine. By blood. By murder." He doesn't deny it. "What are you going to do?" he asks. "Kill me? Execute me the way I tried to execute you?" "No." "Then what?" I look at him. At the man who ruined my life. Who ruined my mother's life. Who helped destroy an entire bloodline for power that was never worth having. "I'm going to let the pack decide." He blinks. "What?" "The pack chooses its alpha. That's the law. That's the real law. The one the council didn't write." I raise my voice so everyone can hear. The pack chooses. Not bloodline. Not inheritance. Not deals made in shadows. The crowd murmurs. "Tonight," I continue, "Blackridge will vote. First time in 300 years. You will choose your own leader. Not because I say so, 'cause you deserve the right. Alaric laughs. It's a broken sound. Hollow. They'll choose you. Maybe. I shrug. Maybe not. But at least they'll choose. The vote takes 2 hours. Wolves line up in front of the stage. One by one, they drop stones into one of 2 baskets. One for me. One for Alaric. I don't watch. I can't. I sit in the shadows of the colonnade with Darius beside me, listening to the sound of stones falling, trying not to count. What if they choose him? Darius asks. Then I leave, find my mother, find a way to save her, find a way to stop my grandmother. And if they choose you, I don't answer, because I don't know. Counting ends. My father walks to the stage. His hands are trembling. His face is wet. The pack has chosen, he says. By a margin of 3-1, he stops, looks at me, looks at Alaric. Rowan Vale is the new alpha of Blackridge pack. The crowd erupts, cheering, crying, howling. Alaric falls to his knees, not in defeat, in shock, in disbelief, a sudden terrible understanding that everything he built is gone. I walk to the stage. Stand in the center. Look at the wolves who sold me, who ignored me, who made me invisible. Now they're looking at me like I'm the only thing in the world worth seeing. I'm not your alpha, I say. Cheering stops. I'm not your ruler. I'm not your queen. I'm not your savior. I look at the stones in the baskets, the wolves who chose me. At the wolves who didn't. I'm someone who refused to stay invisible. I step down from the stage. Walk to Alaric. He's still on his knees, still staring. Still trying to understand how the Omega he sold became the woman he fears. You wanted me dead, I say quietly. You wanted my mother dead. You wanted my entire bloodline erased. I did what? I don't care. He falls silent. I'm not going to kill you, I say. I'm not going to imprison you. I'm not going to torture you or humiliate you or do any of the things you did to me. Then what? I kneel, look him in the eyes. I'm going to let you live, the knowledge that everything you believed about yourself, your power, your legacy, your worth, was a lie. His face crumples. Please, he whispers. Please. Please what? Forgive you? Forget what you did? I stand. No, Marcus. I'm not going to become you. I turn away, and behind me, Alaric bows his head. His forehead touches the ground. The alpha kneels. Not to me. To the truth he can no longer deny. The square empties slowly. Wolves return to their homes, their families, their lives, changed, shattered, rebuilding. Darius finds me at the well, the one that exploded, the one that's still leaking water into the cracks. You handled that well, he says. I handled nothing. I just stood there. Sometimes that's enough. I look at him, the blood on his clothes, the exhaustion in his eyes, the way he stayed when everyone else would have run. Why did you buy me? I ask. He's quiet for a long moment. Because someone bought me once, he says finally. A long time ago, when I was young and scared and sold by people who were supposed to love me. Who bought you? No one you know. No one who's still alive. He looks at the moon. They gave me a second chance, so I'm giving you one. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. We stand in silence. The water rises. The moon climbs. And somewhere in the tunnels beneath us, my mother is still dying. You should go to her, Darius says. I know. But you're afraid. I'm always afraid. He takes my hand. Then, let's be afraid together. The tunnel entrance is hidden behind the old chapel. My father is waiting, asking for you, he says. She's been asking for hours. Is she? She's alive. But the poison is spreading. The healer says she has days. Maybe less. Days. My mother has days. I walk into the tunnel. The darkness swallows me. Somewhere ahead. Light. Flickering. Waiting. The tunnel opens into the garden. The flowers are dying. Glow is fading. The stone that rose from the soil. The heart of the first family is cracked and dark, and my mother is lying on the ground. Her eyes are closed. Her chest isn't moving. No. I run to her, fall to my knees, touch her face. No, no, no. Her eyes open. Weak, she whispers. Dead. Don't scare me like that. Sorry, she smiles weakly. Wanted to see your face. My father kneels beside her, takes her hand. We're going to save you, he says. We're going to. The poison is in my bones. She shakes her head. No saving me. Then we find a way. The only way. She looks at me. The stone, the heart, can heal anything. If someone knows how to use it. The stone is cracked, dark, because it's waiting. She reaches up, touches my cheek. For you, always been waiting for you. I look at the stone, at the cracks, at the darkness. It's not dead, it's sleeping, and I'm the only one who can wake it. But the last time I touched it, the crown, my grandmother, the wolves falling to their knees. The stone is dangerous, I say. Power is always dangerous. My mother's voice is fading. The question is what you do with it. She closes her eyes. Whatever you choose, Rowan. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. Don't talk like that. You're not dying. We're all dying, sweetheart. The question is how we live. Her breathing slows, deepens, sleeps. My father presses his forehead to hers. I'm sorry, he whispers. I'm so sorry. For what? For everything. For not protecting you. For not fighting harder. For... Shh. She doesn't open her eyes, but she smiles. Gave me 20 years. 20 years I wasn't supposed to have. It wasn't enough. It was everything. I sit beside her for hours. Darius waits at the entrance. My father doesn't move. Garden fades around us. Flowers wilting, light dimming, the stone pulsing slower and slower. She's dying. There's nothing I can do. Except the stone, the heart, the power. I stand, walk to the pedestal, look at the cracked, dark stone. It can heal anything, if someone knows how to use it. I don't know how, but I'm the last hair. And I'm done being afraid. I reach out. My fingers touch the stone, and the world shatters. I'm somewhere else. Somewhere dark, somewhere cold. My grandmother is standing in front of me, wearing the crown. But the thorns aren't growing anymore. They're blooming, flowers, white and red and gold, growing from the wounds in her skull. You came back, she says. I need the stone. My mother is dying. I know. She steps closer. I'm the one who poisoned her. The words don't make sense. You. I couldn't have her competing for the crown. My grandmother shrugs. She was always the favorite, always the heir, always the one everyone loved. You killed your own daughter. Poisoned. Difference. She smiles. She's not dead yet, but she will be. Unless... She holds out her hand. Palm. A flower. White, red, gold. Eat this, she says, and I'll save her. What is it? A choice. What kind of choice? My grandmother's eyes go dark, the kind that decides who wears the crown. Rowan's hand hovers over the flower. Behind her, her mother stops breathing. And somewhere in the square above, wolves start screaming. The flower hangs between us. White, red, gold. My grandmother's eyes are black holes. Eat it, she whispers, and I'll save your mother. Behind me, my mother stops breathing. I hear the silence, the way her chest doesn't rise, the way my father's sob catches in his throat. She's dying. Right now, while I stand here holding a flower. What is it? I ask again. The crown's true power. My grandmother smiles. Not control. Transformation. This. And you become what the first family was always meant to be. And if I don't, your mother dies. Your father mourns. So spend the rest of your life wondering if you made the right choice. She holds the flower closer. The petals pulse with light. My mother's heartbeat, fading, slowing, stopping. Think about everything that brought me here. The auction blocks, the strangers who wouldn't bid, the one stranger who did. The mark on my wrist, the ruins beneath the earth, truth that shattered 3 centuries of lies. My father's tears, my aunt's confession, my cousin's betrayal, the wolves who chose me. The wolves who didn't. Darius's hand in mine. My mother's voice, singing lullabies in the dark. All of it. Every moment, every scar. This flower, I say slowly, transforms the eater into what the first family was meant to be. Yes. And what were we meant to be? My grandmother's smile falters. Not rulers, I continue. Not tyrants. Not kings or queens or alphas sitting on thrones while everyone else kneels. I look at the flower, the cracks in the stone, behind her, the wilted garden, and the dying light and the poison that's been seeping through. These tunnels for 5 years. We were meant to be connectors, I say, bridges between packs, healers, protectors. The first. The family wasn't supposed to wear crowns. They were supposed to build them for others. You don't know what you're talking about. I know the stone showed me the truth, not what you wanted me to see, what was. The first family fell because they forgot who they were, started hoarding power. Instead of sharing it, came the very thing they were supposed to protect against. My grandmother's face hardens, and you think you're different. I think I'm still learning. I close my fingers around the flower, but I know one thing for certain. I crush the petals, they dissolve in my palm, turn to dust, drift to the ground. I won't become you. My grandmother screams, the sound tears, through the garden, through the tunnels, through the square, above. Wolves howl in response, not in pain in recognition. The crown on her head cracks, the thorns wilt, the flowers fall. No, she snarls. No, no, no. You were supposed to protect them, I say quietly. That was the oath. That was always the oath. Protect, not rule. Serve, not dominate. I protected them for 300 years. You hid. Difference. She lunges. I don't move. I don't have to. Stone on the pedestal. Cracked. Dark. Dying. Suddenly blazes with light. It shoots across the garden, wraps around my grandmother's wrists, pins her to the ground. The crown falls from her head, rolls to my feet. Pick it up. It's lighter than I expected. Warmer. The thorns don't cut me. The flowers don't bloom. It's waiting, like the stone, like me. This isn't over, my grandmother hisses. It is for you. I turn away, walk to my mother, still not breathing. My father is holding her hand, pressing it to his lips, tears streaming down his face. Sorry, he whispers. I'm so sorry. Don't be, I kneel. Press my palm against my mother's chest. Dawn's light flows through me. Not burning, not cold, just present, like the mark on my wrist it has been waiting for this moment my whole life. Heal her. Please. I'm not ready to lose her. My mother gasps. Her eyes fly open. She breathes. The poison doesn't leave all at once. It seeps out slowly. Through her pores, her tears, the spaces between her fingers. Black and thick and foul. My father holds her through all of it. I'm here, he keeps saying. I'm here. I'm here. When it's over, my mother looks up at me. Her eyes are clear, clean. Rowan, she whispers, don't talk. Rest. You saved me. You saved me first, 20 years ago, when you went into hiding so I could live. She smiles. It was worth it. We leave the garden, leave my grandmother bound in light. Leave the cracked stone on its pedestal. Sleeping, waiting, healing. My father carries my mother up the tunnel. Darius meets us at the entrance. Face goes pale when he sees her, then softens when he sees her breathing. She's alive, he says. She's alive. Your grandmother? Dealt with. He doesn't ask what that means. Neither do I. The square is chaos. Wolves running, shouting, fighting, not at each other, at the memories still burning in their minds, truth they can't unsee. Alpha Marlena stands on the stage, trying to restore order. Council is gone, she shouts. The old ways are gone. We must build something new. Build what? Someone screams. No one has an answer. I walk to the stage. The crowd parts. Marlena steps aside. They're all looking at me. Again, I'm not your alpha, I say. I'm not your queen. I'm not your savior. Then what are you? Someone asks. I look at the wolves, who sold me, who ignored me, who made me invisible. Now they're looking at me like I'm the only one who can tell them what comes next. I'm the girl you sold, I say, the omega nobody wanted, the burden you couldn't wait to get rid of. Silence. But I'm also the last heir, last survivor of the bloodline you tried to erase. I set the crown on the stage behind me. I'm not going to rule you. I'm not going to fix you. I'm not going to wave a hand and make everything better. Then, what are you going to do? I look at the wolf who asked, young, scared, hopeful. I'm going to give you the tools to fix yourselves. The next 3 days change everything. I don't issue decrees. I hold meetings. I don't punish the Vales. I ask them to tell their stories. All of them, even the ugly parts. I don't execute Alaric. I give him a choice. Exile or trial by the pack he betrayed. He chooses exile. I watch him. Walk out of Blackridge with nothing but the clothes on his back. The man who sold me. The man who tried to kill me. Gone. Not forgiven. But not avenged either. Just dealt with. My father stays. Doesn't ask for forgiveness. He doesn't pretend he made the right choices. Just shows up. Every day. Rebuild. Helps heal. Helps the wolves who lost everything find something to hold on to. My mother stays too. She's weak. The poison took most of her strength. But she's alive. Every night. She sits with me in the garden and tells me stories about the first family. Not the legends. The truth. Flaws. Their failures. Their moments of grace. They weren't gods, she says. They were just people. People with too much power and not enough wisdom. And us? We're their descendants, which means we inherited their power and their flaws. She touches my cheek, this haze. But we also inherited the chance to do better. Darius finds me on the 4th night. I'm sitting on the edge of the pack, well, repaired now, the water running clear again. You're leaving, I say, doesn't deny it. There are others, he says. Other wolves like you, hidden, hunted, waiting for someone to find them. Is someone like you? Someone like me? He pauses, unless you need me to stay. I look at him. At the man who bought me when no one else would, who fought for me when no one else believed in me. Who stayed when he could have run. I'll always need you, I say, but I don't need you to stay. He smiles. It's the first time I've seen him really smile. Come back, I say, always. He walks into the darkness. I watch until I can't see him anymore. Then I go back to work. As the packs don't unify fly overnight, reject the truth. Cling to their alphas. Cling to the lies that made them feel safe. Others embrace the chaos. Tear down everything. Refuse to build anything new. Most fall somewhere in between. Confused. Hurting. Trying. Alpha, Marlena, becomes my unlikely ally. She doesn't agree with everything I say. Fights me on half of it. But she listens. And she makes the other alphas listen too. We don't have to agree, she tells them. We just have to stop killing each other over thrones that were never supposed to exist. It takes months, then years, but eventually. The packs start talking, not fighting. Sharing resources, sharing stories, sharing children who grow up in a world without alphas who rule by blood right. They still have leaders, still have laws. They still have disagreements and disputes, and moments of terrible cruelty, but the system is different now. Accountable, transparent, imperfect, human, and wolf. Years later, I stand in the same square where they sold me. The stage is gone. The auction block is gone. The well still runs clear. Wolves pass by, some who remember, some who don't. Children play where bodies once fell. Laughter. Echoes where screams once tore through the air. My mother sits on a bench in the sun. Her hair is gray now. Her face is lined. But her eyes are bright. My father sits beside her, holding her hand, the way he's held it every day since she came back from the dead. They're not perfect. Neither am I. But we're here, together, healing, building. A young wolf approaches me. barely 16, scared, hopeful. Say you were sold here, she says. At an auction, like livestock. Was. They say you were nothing, I was. She looks at her feet. Then back at me. They say you became everything. I kneel so we're eye level. I became myself, I say. That's all anyone can do. She nods. Walks away. Stands a little taller. That night, I visit the garden. The stone is still there. Sleeping, waiting, pulsing faintly. I don't touch it. I don't need to. The power isn't in the stone. The power is in the choice. I sit beside it for a long time, thinking about the girl who stood on that stage. Me, who kept her eyes down, who made herself small enough to forget, still inside me. She always will be. But she's not the one in charge anymore. I stand, walk out of the garden, close the door behind me. The square is empty. The moon is full, somewhere in the darkness. Darius is out there, finding others like me. Giving them the same chance he gave me. He never came back, but he never stopped watching. I feel him sometimes, in the wind, the howls that drift across the territory. In the quiet moments when I'm alone and not lonely, he bought me for 200 silver marks. He saved my life a dozen times. He loved me in the only way he knew how, and I loved him back. Even if neither of us ever said it. The years pass. The packs change. The world changes. Some things stay the same. Fear, greed, cruelty, but also courage, kindness, hope. I'm not naive. I know. The darkness is still out there. My grandmother is still bound in the garden, whispering promises to anyone who will listen. The council's remnants are still plotting in shadows. The old bloodlines still want their thrones back. But not today. Day, the sun is rising over Black Ridge. And the wolves are waking up to a world they chose for themselves. My mother finds me at the well. You're thinking about her, she says. My grandmother. Yes, I wonder if I did the right thing, binding her instead of killing her. Killing her would have made you like her. Binding her might make me like her too. My mother sits beside me. Power doesn't corrupt, she says. Fear corrupts. Fear of losing power. Fear of being nothing. Fear of the darkness inside yourself. Are you afraid? Every day, she takes my hand. But I'm also grateful. Every sunrise. For every breath. For every moment with you. She squeezes my fingers. That's the real power, Rowan. Stone. Not the crown. Not the bloodline. What? Gratitude. We sit in silence. The sun climbs higher. The square fills with wolves. And somewhere in the garden beneath our feet, the stone pulses. Once. Twice. In rhythm with my heart. They still tell stories about me. The girl who was sold. The Omega who became the heir. Heir who refused the crown. Some of the stories are true. Some are lies. Most are somewhere in between. I don't correct them. Let them tell their stories. Let them make me a legend, or a villain, or a cautionary tale. I know who I am. That's enough. The day they sold me, they thought they were getting rid of a burden, thought I was worthless, thought I would disappear into the mines, or the death pits, or the quiet corners where unwanted wolves go to die. Instead, they sold away their future, not because I was special, because I was willing to change. And they weren't. Sun sets, the moon rises, the wolves howl. I stand in the center of the square. The same square where I once stood with my eyes down, my hands clasped, my heart broken. Now my eyes are up. My hands are open. My heart is still healing, but it's beating. Stronger every day. The girl they sold was gone. The woman who remained knew exactly what she was worth. She wasn't going to let anyone tell her otherwise again. The end.